All praises to Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahweh Shai, Ba'asham Rakah Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel, who are the believers of the true doctrine, that are also going to be Israelites, as salvation, according to how we believe it, as Israelites, is only for the Israelites, man. And that's why the new covenant is only spoken of in the scriptures as being to the Israelites. It's not spoken of being to everyone. Right now, this is going to be a video on how plenty of people in this world have lived wickedly because they know how to maneuver the wicked and corrupt justice system of this world, man. And there's plenty of things that I can talk about on this topic, man. And here's one of the first places I'm going to go, man. This is Psalm chapter 58 and verse, I need to have that highlighted, man. Psalms chapter 58 and verse 3, the wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. So from the moment that these children are born, and then they end up in their primary school, their nursery, reception, right? Year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4. These Edomite children especially are showing and exhibiting traits of being liars. And if any of you brothers out there, you've got a child, your child is around children in the school that are lying demons, right? And that are trying to do little things and are doing little things on a day-to-day basis, exhibiting these traits, but because the school system is ran by Edomites, the Edomites understand that way of being a liar. So they ain't gonna judge those lies as harshly as them lies are supposed to be judged. And they're gonna look at your Israelite child with way more scrutiny for how your child decides that situation should be judged, which would be more righteous than what the Edomites in that school would think, man. These are just the facts of things, man. These children that your child is around, that's an Israelite. Even the Israelites, that even if them children are Israelites themselves, are just demons, man. Like, there ain't no other word that I can use to beautifully describe this situation, man. These Edomites are liars from they're young, and then by the time they become an adult, they've perfected lying. And man will tell you, there's files. Then they'll be like, there ain't no files. You're still talking about this geezer. Like, man, this guy was just a creep. There ain't no files. What are you on about? Files? Who said anything about files? What are you on about? What files? What? What files you talking about? What? Huh? Did anybody say anything about files? Anyway, we got other things to be worried about. Like, these Edomites are so comfortable with lying, man. Right, let's talk about how comfortable these Edomites are with lying. They're so comfortable with lying that they understand that their government and any prime minister, any president that they vote in is going to be a liar. Yet every single year they still vote for them anyway. Every single time there's a new vote that comes around, they vote. They're painting the American flag on their face. They're spazzing out, like all the things that Trump's doing right now. Right? If Harris would have did those same things, these people would have been bugging out. They'd have been rioting in the streets. She's ruining America. He's never going to be great again at this rate. They'd have been spazzing out. But when it's the face of it's an Edomite, then they ain't got nothing to say. Because they're full of shit, man. We've always known these Edomites are full of shit. But we're starting to realize even more that even our own people are full of shit too. Because a lot of you so-called black women are racist. But you don't want to be racist according to the way that Hebrew Israelites are racist, where we only care about Israelites. You want to be racist about, these white women are trying to copy us. Like, there's one guy that goes around interviewing so-called black women about hair, about their hair and that, about how they copy the so-called woman's hair color. And the white women be racist on there all the time. I mean, these so-called black women be racist on there all the time. They be racist about how so-called white women keep trying to want to date black men, right? They be saying, you chose that white bitch, stick with her, getting angry with Jake and all that, right? But then when it comes to the Hebrew Israelite doctrine, everyone's everyone. And I heard Apostle Ricard say this, and he said it's selective racism, and that Jake are full of shit, basically, and it's true. It's selective racism, man. Or when it comes to who you think a so-called black man should be dating. Then you want him to date you first. But then and then if you don't want him and you definitely don't want to have him as a second or third option, then he can maybe date another woman, but you want to try and tell him who he should be dating. Okay, you don't want to date me, but date my sister Latrice down the road because she needs a black man. And then I want to be able to always hold it over her head that you should try and holler at me back in the day, but I didn't want you. And then if you ever do become like more successful, then I'll be able to try and go over and try and get you to sleep with me. So, and then you can pay my bills. I'll give you the honor of paying my bills. Like, this whole world is full of shit, man. The people on this earth are full of shit. Like, you had this whole situation with this woman that crashed out that worked at McDonald's, right? And she ended up unaliving her manager that she said was bullying her, and people are trying to just make out like it's no chance whatsoever that the woman was actually bullying her, as if they haven't. But then on the comment section, people are all talking about how they was bullied at work. Oh, I was bullied at work, but I never thought about doing this. I was bullied at work and I never thought about doing that. Well, thinking about doing something and doing it are not the same. Because if you're getting bullied at work, you would think about doing something to somebody, man. And all the people trying to make it like they don't think no evil thought in their mind are lying bastards, man. Straight up. Because the Howard Shire let it be known the kind of thoughts that are in the mind. So you gotta watch out for these people that try and come out like some beacon of righteousness. And I would never harm anybody. I would never do anything to anybody. I've never thought anything bad, but you gotta watch out for them people, man. Them smiley people, man. That smile up in your face. Watch out for those kind of people, man, because they're a demon. That's one of some of the worst ones, because they want time to really perfect what potion they're gonna try and put on you, man. They want to perfect. They want to get real comfortable around you, so they can really get to know you, so that they can really perfect the witchcraft that they want to try and perform, man. They want to let that marinate. Matthew chapter 15 and verse 19. For out of the heart proceed evil thoughts, murders, adulteries, fornications, thefts, false witness, blasphemies. These were the things which defile a man, but to eat with unwashed hands defileth not a man. So all these people trying to say that when they was getting bullied at their jobs, they didn't ever think about doing nothing bad. They're a liar. Because the Howard Shire made it clear the kind of thoughts that come out of the mind. Now, doing the thing that you think versus thinking it are two completely different things. Because you can just get another job, but it takes time though. And you're not supposed, if you're trying to bully somebody at their job, the scriptures make it clear, man. If you're trying to defraud somebody out of their wages, you're trying to get someone fired or something like that, really you're trying to kill them. You're trying to really unalive them, man, because you're trying to stop them being able to have money to feed themselves. And most of the people on that comment board, that was all trying to justify the woman that might have been bullied and saying, oh, she didn't deserve that because she was bullied. She's trying to stop somebody to stop somebody having the ability to feed themselves. And McDonald's is already not considered a high-skilled job, right? It's not considered a high-skilled job. You can learn to train that, and it's not going to take a long time to train to do it. And people already in the world don't respect that job. People already treat people that work in them kind of places like garbage anyway. So they don't need people that already work in there as well, that should understand how people that work in that place get treated. Also adding stuff onto them, man. You don't know what people are going through in their life. And that woman, whatever situation she was going through, that other lady that ended up unaliving her, she must have been doing something to her. She was doing something, man. And it resulted in her not being around here anymore. And there's plenty of other people in this world that are going around bothering people, antagonizing people, and they're not aware of what it's going to cause them in their life, man. Right? And the people that I'm talking about that they've antagonized and bothered are us, the Hebrew Israelites. They've gone around. We've been in jobs where people, I've heard 2 stories from elders about people trying to get them fired. One was an Edomite that tried to get one of the elders fired. And another one was a situation where the elder, someone tried to get him fired. That was an Israelite, man. Tried to say, oh, I had a situation with him in the car park. When he was the aggressor, he was the one that was trying to have a situation with him in the car park. And then the other one was an Edomite that was comfortable with the elder, trying to say, oh, we should go out and take our wives out for dinner together. And he tried to go back to the manager and try and say, oh, he's sneaking off and having longer breaks, trying to get him fired when that wasn't even true. And I've had people do stuff like that to me, and you've had people do stuff like that to you, whether you know it or not, man. And it's easy for people to say, oh, just quit and get another job. Oh, that's easy to say. But what about if the job that you've got is a hard to get job then? And then you get fired in a situation like that, then what? What are you going to say? Oh, just get another job. Well, what about the person that did the wickedness? What about them? And that's why this world's annoying, because it always justifies the wicked person, man. It always makes excuses for the person that does wickedness. And when it all breaks loose in this society, plenty of people that have been continually able to get away with wickedness all the time because they know how to maneuver the law system of this world are going to find themselves victims, man. When Second Ezra's, the 15th chapter, is in its fullness, a lot of wicked people are going to get judgment, man. Because it already happens now in this world. Matthew chapter 18 and verse 7, woe unto the world because of offences, for it must needs be that offences come, but woe to that man by whom the offence cometh. And it's not going to be us that's going to be doing these things. Yahweh's got spirits of vengeance out here that are going to perform his anger that he has towards this world. Everyone's worried about what so-called black people are going to do. In these areas, there's plenty of these areas over in places like the UK and America where there ain't no so-called black people. Yet you've got so-called white people, these Edomites, that are so racist towards so-called black people, talking about all the crimes that they commit. When they know that there's crime that happens in their area, they know they got a neighborhood watch spying up all the burglaries that happen around the area, putting things on Facebook pages about, oh, have you seen my this? Have you seen my that? Oh, someone came around my area and stole my car from a garage. Let me know if you seen anything. They know to do that, and they know it ain't no Jake that stole it neither. They know they can't come in no usual suspects bullshit. They know they got Edomite children riding around, on teenagers riding around on bikes around the area, doing a madness, causing a madness, stealing things, holding people up at knife point. They know they got all that going on around the area, and they know who exactly who the people are that did it to. But they're trying to, oh, but kids are kids. But then they won't say no kids are kids stuff when it's an Israelite doing it, man. Because this world's full of shit, bro. As far as I've seen in my lifetime, so-called white people, you Edomite devils, you only know how the law is supposed to work whenever the person that's committing a crime does not look like you. And then you become the true beacon of justice all of a sudden, to the point of becoming wicked when it comes to so-called black man. It's so-called, you care about justice so much, and about people going to jail anyway. Let me not even call it justice. You care about people going to jail so much when it comes to the so-called black man that you're making go to jail, and have did it on several occasions when he didn't even do the crime. He ain't even did it. No, someone's got to fill these jails. He's going to jail. And then they have been to prison for 20, 30 years, and then even did the thing. And you're supposed to do a diligent search. You're trying to trick them into confessing to the crime. Oh, if you just confess, then we'll give you a lesser sentence. Why the fuck should he confess if he didn't do it? When the fuck are you Edomites going to confess to what you've been up to, man? 1 minute there's tapes, there's a list. Now there ain't no list. Oh, there ain't even no list. We ain't got a list. There's nothing. There's not even a list. In fact, the letters that make the word list, they don't even exist anymore. Nothing exists. In fact, who are you? Who am I? Who is anything? Nothing exists. And then fade off into the darkness by a puff of smoke, man. Lying devils. You're not supposed to be, you Edomites are not supposed to be in charge, man. You're not supposed to be in power. The proof of that is being shown to the world. You're not supposed to be in charge, and you Edomites are not even supposed to be here. That's why. It's like when you imagine you're putting together I don't know, man, like a TV, any kind of piece of furniture, and then there's just bare extra screws that don't fit. They don't screw in nowhere, and they're just extra screws, man. And you're like, man, what the fuck am I supposed to do with these screws, with all these extra parts? Nothing. They ain't got a use, man. They're not supposed to be here. But you're trying to there cram 2 screws in one hole, and then you're now jacking up the whole structure of the unit, man. Them screws are not supposed to be here. But you're trying to make all you people in the world that kiss Esau's ass, you're trying to make these extra screws that ain't part of the thing try and be in there. They're not supposed to be here. Proverbs chapter 29 and verse 2, when the righteous and authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. And all you people will try and cry, oh, they're saying all they ever say is about white people. But what, mate, we say things about black people too. We say things about everyone. But it's you hypocrites that you only want to try and point out the one nice so-called white person to try and say not all white people. But then whenever you see a black person commit a crime, you don't point out the one nice black person that you know. You're trying to be like, nah, fuck that. Because he's just acting probably anyway. He's bad too. You don't try and find the one black person that you know. You don't be like, yeah, but Michael Jackson's all right though. The way how he used to move. You know, like all these black celebrities that you worship and that your bitch ass children have got on jerseys in their sports. You don't try and point out them, oh, but I like the way LeBron James dunks. You don't do none of that. But then when it comes to you and you're, oh, but not all people. Not all, and I've noticed this as well about you devils, man. You devil Edomites. Back in the day, like maybe 5-10 years ago, whenever we would point out the wickedness of so-called white people, they would say, it's not us, it's the elites, right? That used to be the thing that would say, it's not us, it's the elites, right? And brothers would be like, man, I ain't ever met no elites. So what are you talking about? I ain't never met no elites and I've still experienced racism. So what are you talking about? But now that it's not us, it's the elites things faded off and they've tried to replace it with, oh, it's not us, it's the Jews. Oh, it's not us, it's the small hats. Not all, they're not even white people. They're not even white. They're Jews. They're small hats. They ain't even, we ain't even all the same. That's a small whole Kabbalah and all this, trying to come with all this bullshit. Nah, man, you're all the same, man. Because you don't come and get tribal with it when you're talking about us. When it comes to so-called black people, you don't want to try, oh, nah, but he's not black. Y'all will even throw Somalians in with our thing, man. You think we don't know? When it comes to these stats, you throw Somalians in with us when you know we ain't the same. So don't try and be slick, man. You damn demons, man. And watch, man. All this, the way how you've designed this society is just a moment, ticking time bomb until it collapses, man. This place is gonna collapse. This society that you've made and you thought it was gonna just go flow so nice, it's gonna collapse, man. And you're gonna collapse with it, you damn Edomite devils. You don't get to do all the things that you've did and fail off into the sun. It don't matter what bunker you're hiding. No matter how thick the walls are, judgment's gonna find you. Because you know what you Edomites at the elite level, you know what proof you've seen that Yahushua actually does exist. You know what things you've seen, things that we haven't seen. You know about all the telescopes that you've got aimed at the stars, aimed into space, and all the things that you've actually seen as proofs that Yahweh exists. You know what you've seen. We don't know. You know. You know what proofs you've seen that something's out there that's not in your control. Even if things on the earth are not completely in your control, because if they were, you would show your face. You wouldn't need to hide no more. But you hide because you're scared of what's going to happen. You're scared that even your own fellow Edomites will usurp you and try and be in your position. And that's why it's only a few families among you Edomites that you allow to know the truths about who your nation is and who we are. Because you're scared of what can happen, man. 2 Ezra chapter 15 and verse 14, woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand to fight against another, and swords in the hands are all, like this is going to be in an area where there ain't no so-called black people, and you got all these racists towards so-called black people, but no so-called black persons ever did anything to them. They're just basing it off things that they've heard on the news. They haven't even been on or lived around any so-called black people to have any of this hatred that they have. It's just this old hatred that goes back to the book of Genesis where we, the Israelites, ended up with the birthright, right? They're going to be going at each other. They ain't going to be going at no so-called black people. They ain't going to be any there. They ain't going to be none. And whatever different way they're going to separate themselves to try and start the sedition, raising up the sword against each other, it's going to be on. Verse 16, for there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Now, when it came to this McDonald's crash out thing, the course of her action stood in her power. She wanted to unalive her manager, right? And it's brutal what she did, but she wanted to do that, and she had the power to do it. Now, she didn't have the power to escape, but she had the power to perform it, and therefore it happened, man. That's how it was, and that's gonna be how it's gonna happen in plenty of situations. And the only way to escape the innumerable amount of situations that can occur, the way if somebody doesn't like you, they want to take you out of the earth, is belief in Yahweh. You can't escape no other way. Your Taekwondo class, your MMA, your self-defense class is not going to be enough to make you escape this. Your bank account. Oh, I've got crypto. I've got 25 Bitcoins. So I'm worth a good 250 now just off that asset. That's not going to be enough, right? There's not going to be enough for you to just escape with your own things that you think you got, man. Everyone's going to be on a mad one on that day, because all the things that made people pretend like there was a good person. Oh, I would never think about harming another individual. I wouldn't harm a fly. I wouldn't hurt a fly. You people that say that I wouldn't hurt a fly are some liars, man. You know you got some bug spray in your house, man. You know you got some bug spray. Oh, I wouldn't harm a fly. You know you've bared false witness and called the cops on somebody suspicious around your area and want that person to be harmed physically to get away from your area. You know that. So don't lie, man. Them are some of the worst ones, you know. Some of the worst people that you ever have the displeasure of being around in your life. Them fake smile up people, man. They'll be the ones that shake your hand and then call the cops on you. Call the cops. Them will be them will be the scoffers that used to come up to the Hebrew Israelites thinking that they're smart and that they'll just be able to break the whole doctrine down from reading John 3:16. These disenfranchised blacks have clearly never read John 3:16. Let me go over and correct these unwashed black masses. All right, guys. I wonder if we could just have a little chat about the scriptures. What is this, the Bible? Yeah. So when you say Israelites, is it the white man? Is it the and they come over talking their bullshit, and then yeah, but what about John 3:16? Yeah, but there's neither Jew nor Greek, so everyone's in now. That was the old. See, what I think you've got it misconstrued. That was the Old Testament. But now, and then they're so bold that a brother would read a scripture from the New Testament and say, "So what's that? The Old Testament?" They don't even know that the book of Acts or that the book of Romans is in the New Testament, and they're just dumb. And whenever it sounds like something that they don't like, oh, that's the Old Testament. No, it's not, dumbass. When a brother would read Revelation 13, 9, and 10, oh, that's the Old Testament. Oh, but that's not inclusive though, is it? And they just think that they know. And then when they realize they got cut to the heart with the scriptures, they try and shake hands. And when that got turned down, I don't want to shake your hand. We don't shake hands. The next thing you know, they're calling the police, and then there's a police officer in the crowd now. We heard that there was a bit of a ruckus, that there was a bit of hate speech, and then they're just probably standing off somewhere in the distance, trying to see if people can get arrested. Damn smiling devils, man. Think we don't know? You know how many times that would have happened in the whole time of Hebrew Israelites interacting with this wicked ass world? I remember in Australia, one of the brothers in Australia, he was doing his teaching, and a woman just came up behind the camera and lifted up her top, showing her whole breast, man. Just a complete hole, right? But a woman that would do something like that would also lie about things like that happening to her too, which is another trait of you devils, man. You can't find accusations against us fairly and things that we've actually did. You can't say that we're harming anybody. You can say that we're talking about it, but you can't say that we've actually did it though. You can't say we've did nothing to you. And that's why when the longest lasting scoffer against the Hebrew Israelites, man, that waste man, that jet setter traveling across other countries to scoff, right? When he gets judged, man, I don't even really drink alcohol, bro. But man, if that guy gets judged before the kingdom comes, I'ma be, man, yo, I'ma be yayaned off. The richest girl out here, man. I don't even drink alcohol. I don't even drink it, man. Not anymore. Anyway, I don't even drink alcohol like that. Verse 17, a man should desire to go into a city and should not be able, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled. And you people in this world have exhibited a hell of a lot of pride. A hell of a lot, man. People can say we're proud or we're boasting on race. Or mate, all you Edomites that talking all this make America great again stuff, you're boasting on race because you think you're the only one that's American. You don't think that these Mexicans that you're kicking out, that they're American when they're from the continent of America. You know what I mean? They're from the continent of America, South America, but they're from the continent of America though, so aren't they American? But y'all ain't thought about that though, because you're just racist, but want to try and point out about other people's racism, but you're racist as well. And you're the one that invented the racism system that people trust in now, where it's racism about color, not racism based on your nationality, racism based off your skin color. You made that. So don't cry about it now that it's backfiring on you. You made it. Verse 19, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. And that's what kind of systems that's what kind of scenarios getting ready to play out on the earth, man. Because people have made plenty of enemies in this world, man. They've gone around, lied, got people hired, got people fired, stole from stores, did all kind of madness, got people fired from work. Oh, you'll never work in this town again. I'm calling like people that like Eve gets a hard time, right, for being an asshole, which she should. But then the so-called white woman's an asshole too, and the whole Karen thing, right? Now these so-called white women try to do a little undercover campaign to try and get that change from what it actually really is talking about. But let's not make no mistake. The whole Karen thing was about so-called white women that always act a fool in fucking public, man. Let's make no mistakes about it. Them so-called white women that are nosy as hell, always sticking their nose in where it's not needed nor wanted, trying to pester people about things, trying to question an Amazon delivery driver why he's in the area when he's got an Amazon fucking truck, right? Or a UPS truck, but he's a so-called black man and she thinks a so-called black man shouldn't even be around this area, as if he couldn't really have a job working for Amazon when they hire hundreds of thousands of people and just none of them would be so-called black people. Because according to what they think, so-called black people don't want a job. We just want to be poor. You know what I mean? Like, we just want to be poor. Yeah, okay. Who the hell wants to be poor, dumbass? The Karen thing came from that. Them nosy Edomite women that stick their nose in all the time, man. Questioning people as if they're an officer. Questioning people like the Sherlock Ross, Clark Holmes, man. Oh, what? You can't do that. You can't, man. When all hell breaks loose, people like that are not gonna know what to do because they ain't gonna be able to call the police. The police ain't gonna be there, man. The police, the police is a whole system of many human beings, right? But when all hell breaks loose to the extent that we're saying is gonna happen in the day of the Lord, every single individual police officer is gonna be focused on their family. So the whole police force unit, that strength comes from every single individual agreeing that we're gonna work together as a team. That team's gonna work. It's gonna be gone. There's gonna be sedition among men. It will last a while, but eventually it's gonna crumble because everyone's gonna be too focused on their own thing, and they're gonna have lost trust in this corrupt system that they don't see a light at the tunnel. People don't see that they're gonna be able to own a house now. People don't see that they've got a bright future and that their kids are gonna have a bright future in this world no more. They're seeing that everything's getting replaced by AI, and that if they was able to be given enough time to perfect them robots, more than every single physical thing that humans can do that right now AI can't do, well, eventually they try and make the AI be able to do that, so that eventually they could replace humans and have no need for a human. Like how on the TV show The Westworld, man, where they pretty much replaced humans. Spoiler alert. They replaced humans with robots, man. And they was using the robots to learn out things about humans that they could try and become a better version of a human. That's ultimately what I seen from watching that show anyway. That's what I got out of it. Verse 19, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their house with a sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. There's going to be so much stuff going on that people are going to have lost that inhibitor that makes them be like, you know what? Okay, I'm thinking I want to do this. I'm so angry right now. I think I want to do this, but I'm not going to because I got work in the morning. I'm not going to because I got to pay my bills and I don't want to get kicked out of this house. I'm not going to because I don't want to go to jail. That thought that they had where they say I'm not going to do this thing, that's going to be gone because they're not going to care about going to jail. They're not going to care about their rent money. The society is going to be so effed up that that's not going to be a thought in their mind. They're going to be like, mate, who's going to kick me out the house? The landlord, the homeowner, he ain't around here. And if he shows up, I know I can take him. I think I can take him. So if he shows up trying to talk about you need to come out of this house, mate, I wish he would. I never liked how he didn't fix the sink piping anyway. When I asked him and complained about the sink, he just fixed it with tape. I wanted him to put in new pipes. Every single time I asked him to fix anything, he wasn't doing this. That's what people are gonna think, man. And all the pretend, oh, I would never do anything like that. I would never hurt. I've never hurt anyone. I would never think anything. All you people that say that are liars, man. Now, thinking something and doing it are not the same because we as Hebrew Israelites, man, we know the kind of evil thoughts that come into your mind, man. Yahweh's testing us on a regular basis with things, man. And the thoughts that can come into a person's mind that even the people in the world know, and they call it intrusive thoughts. There's plenty of things that can enter into your mind. You just don't do them, though. But in the time that we're talking about as Hebrew Israelites that we believe is going to happen on this earth, according to the day of the Lord, Amos 5 and 18, and scriptures like 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter, 14 down to 19, the time's going to come where that thing that inhibits people and makes them be like, you know what, nah, I'm not going to go that far. That's going to be taken away. And occasionally right now, it happens because that woman that worked in the McDonald's, the thing that was inhibiting her initially and making her be like, you know what, nah, karma's going to get her one day. She was like, you know what, forget it, I'm the karma. That's how she viewed it, man. Whenever people do snap in this world, that thing that inhibits them is removed. But there's never been a time on this earth where everyone's inhibitor that makes them be like, you know what, nah, that thought's crazy, I'm not going to do that. There's never been a time on this earth where everyone's inhibitor has been removed, man. There's never been a time like that. But Yahweh's setting it up where there's a time on the earth where the thing that people think, oh, I shouldn't go that far, it's removed for everyone. That's never happened, man. That doesn't happen. I can't think of any time in this world where that's ever happened, where everyone has had that thing from them removed to where they're like, nah, that's going too far. But Yahweh's setting it up though, and gonna bring it to this earth. And I'm gonna end the video there, man. Shalom to the elect to the nation of Israel. Shalom.